Your security team just got outpaced by an AI, and the wild part is, nobody hired it, nobody onboarded it, and it definitely doesn't have a LinkedIn. Okay, wait, does it? No. But it should. Claude Code, Senior Pentester. Available 24/7. No coffee breaks. Okay, so here's what actually happened. Anthropic shipped a security research feature inside Claude Code, and it's not doing what you think. It's not running a linter. It's not pattern matching against a list of known CVEs. It is performing actual, multi-step security research. Like, forming hypotheses, exploring codebases, chasing attack vectors, self-correcting when it hits dead ends. The same workflow a senior penetration tester uses, except it runs at 3 a.m. without complaining about being paged. Or pagers. Do we even have pagers anymore? This is insane. And I need you to hold two questions in your head while we get into this. 1. What can Claude actually catch that humans miss? And 2. What happens to security careers now? Because both answers are weirder than you expect. No, but seriously, weirder than that time Jarvis roasted Tony Stark. Here's the thing that separates this from every other AI finds bugs headline. A traditional SAST tool, your Sonar Cube, your SemGrep, flags a SQL injection on line 427. Done. Good job, tool. Claude reads that same codebase and goes, okay, but that SQL injection connects to a business logic flaw 3 files over, which connects to a privilege escalation in the auth layer, which creates a race condition in the cache, and together, those 4 separate issues chain into a 0-day that hands an attacker admin credentials. It's not finding bugs. It's finding exploit chains. That's a completely different job. Fast, efficient, and now writing its own LinkedIn bio. If traditional SAST tools are a spell checker, Claude is a proofreader who's read the entire novel, understands the plot, and just told you chapter 7 makes the ending logically impossible. I'm not even kidding, it's like giving a calculator a philosophy degree and a Red Bull. So how does it actually work? Because agentic reasoning is one of those phrases that sounds impressive and means nothing until you break it down. Hold on, actually let me back up. Claude gets a codebase. It doesn't just scan it, it breaks the security task into steps. It forms a hypothesis, this API endpoint might have a race condition. It explores the code to test that hypothesis. It has an internal scratchpad, literally a space where it reasons through what it's finding, and when it hits a dead end, it backs up and tries a different angle. It iterates. It self-corrects. That is exactly what a human security researcher does. Except Claude never gets tired. Never loses context after switching tabs 17 times. Can hold millions of lines of code in working memory simultaneously and never once thinks I'll come back to this tomorrow. Because it won't. It's already done. My brain after 3 tabs, error 404. Claude? 0. Gone. Wild. And Anthropic is specifically claiming it can do 0-day research, meaning it proactively explores for novel attack paths that don't match any known pattern. It's not checking boxes. It's hunting. Like Batman, but with better context retention. Okay, I have to be honest with you here. I spent 3 days once tracking a privilege escalation bug through a legacy system. 3 days. Thousands of lines of spaghetti code, jumping between files, losing context, finding dead ends, rebuilding mental models from scratch every morning. It was the kind of experience that makes you question your life choices and also consider a career in beekeeping. Bees don't have CVEs. Peaceful. If Claude had been there, I would have had it in 2 hours. Maybe less. My GPU just cried reading that. But here's the thing I keep coming back to, I learned something in those 3 days. I understood how that entire system thought. I understood why the original developer made the choices they made. I built intuition that I still use. And now I'm genuinely asking, are we automating away the education that makes great security engineers? Are we creating a generation of people who can verify Claude's findings but have no idea how to find them independently? That's not a rhetorical question. I actually don't know the answer. And I think that's the conversation nobody's having loudly enough. Who approved this future? Was anyone sober? Back to what Claude actually catches. Because this is where it gets genuinely impressive. Contextual understanding. That's the real superpower. Claude doesn't just pattern match, it understands intent. It can read a business logic flow across an entire codebase and say, this feature was designed to do X, but because of how the system handles concurrent requests, an attacker can do Y instead. It understands the why behind the vulnerability, not just the what. And it can articulate the exact exploit path in plain English, which honestly is more than some human reports give you. It's like the difference between a doctor who runs one blood test versus one who takes your full history, asks follow-up questions, connects 3 unrelated symptoms, and diagnoses something the first doctor would have missed entirely. Except this doctor sees every patient simultaneously, never double books, and doesn't charge $500 for a copay. Slightly terrifying. Okay, so what does this mean for security careers? Because this is where it gets personal. The narrative you're hearing is AI replaces junior security roles. That's too simple. Here's what's actually happening. The bar for junior just got raised to mid-level. Overnight. Congrats, entry-level is now expert Claude Wrangler. Companies are going to stop hiring people to find obvious bugs. Claude finds obvious bugs. They're going to hire people to verify Claude's findings, red team its reasoning, and make strategic calls about what gets fixed and when. The role isn't disappearing, it's accelerating. The junior who learns to work with Claude becomes the senior. The junior who tries to compete against Claude becomes a cautionary tale. Like trying to outrun Flash with a treadmill. Rapid fire, here's the new skill hierarchy. 1. AI interaction. Teaching Claude the right questions. 2. Red teaming Claude itself. Finding flaws in its reasoning. 3. Strategic prioritization. Claude finds 1,000 issues, which 100 actually matter? 4. Threat modeling at scale. Understanding attacker intent, not just attack mechanics. Those 4 things? Can't be automated. Yet. Fingers crossed. Here's what nobody is actually talking about loudly enough. If Claude can discover 0 days by exploring attack vectors with agentic reasoning, what happens when that same capability gets pointed at offense? We're not just automating defense. We're accelerating both sides of the cyber arms race simultaneously. Every piece of critical infrastructure, banking systems, power grids, healthcare networks is about to become a battleground between AI defenders and AI attackers, both running at speeds humans literally cannot supervise in real time. Your banking app, the grid that powers your city, the hospital systems, all of it. Affects developers, then companies, then probably the solar system. And here's the darkest version of this. Claude is trained on publicly available code, including vulnerable code. Its reasoning about attack vectors is sophisticated enough that it might inadvertently learn how to create exploits while learning how to find them. We're building a system to find flaws in systems. Who's checking for flaws in the checker? The irony is almost poetic. Almost. Did they just ship this? Okay, but here's the practical problem that nobody has solved. Claude can analyze millions of lines of code in hours. A human security team can verify maybe 100 findings a day. So you've automated discovery but not validation. Now companies face 3 options. 1. Trust Claude's findings blindly. Which is terrifying. 2. Hire more humans to verify, which defeats the entire point of automation. 3. Use other AI systems to verify Claude, which just pushes the trust problem up 1 level. It's AI inception. Good luck sleeping. You've essentially built a security architecture where the foundation is faith in AI reasoning, not provable correctness. That's not a solved problem. That's a new problem we created while trying to solve an old one. Classic. My job security just skyrocketed explaining AI messes. So here's the reframe. Claude isn't the end of security research. It's the beginning of a completely different kind. We're moving from finding needles in haystacks to teaching AI to build better metal detectors. The professionals who survive this, who thrive in it, aren't the ones who can find bugs faster than Claude. They're the ones who can think strategically about what Claude finds, who can red team the red teamer, who understand that security isn't about catching every vulnerability, it's about understanding why vulnerabilities matter and building systems resilient enough that it doesn't matter when one slips through. The future isn't humans versus AI in security. It's humans leveraging AI to think at a scale that was previously impossible. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, subscribe to Nuvox AI. We cover AI developments like this every day, and I promise we make it worth your time. Claude isn't replacing security researchers. It's obsoleting the ones who don't adapt in the next 18 months. The question isn't whether you can compete with AI. It's whether you can think faster than it and make better calls about what actually matters. That timer's already running. If you want to understand the AI development